Good afternoon, everyone. So today we are having a session by Dr. Piyush Tailor on a very exciting topic, because we all are eating lot many foods, lot many fast food, and along with that we also would like to remain fit. Okay. So in that case, today we will get many insight that along with the exercise to remain fit, which type of food is important. Junk food is important, not important. What is the role of junk food, and all other important aspects we will be able to learn. So without taking much time, I request Dr. Piyush, Professor in Biochemistry, to start his inputs and guide us how to remain fit under the scheme of Fit India. Even government starts an initiative known as Fit India. University also insisting in Fit India, and so now Medical College Bhavnagar is also insisting in Fit India. So over to you, Dr. Piyush.
Thank you very much, sir.
અવાજ નથી આવતો.
Thank you very much, sir.
હજી નથી આવતો.
Thank you very much, sir. Are you? Am I audible?
Can anybody raise hand if you are able to hear? Ajay sir, સંભળાય છે? મારો અવાજ આવે છે? પિયુષ નો આવે છે? ડોક્ટર પિયુષ નો?
Okay.
હા સર આવે છે.
Okay. So thank you very much, sir, for giving this opportunity. And as Dr. Chinmay sir said that I cannot make you fit. I can just teach you a principle that how to remain fit. So keep in mind, in some lecture, I learned that if you get the knowledge and if it doesn't implement, then it doesn't having any role. It's like katha. એટલે હું કથા કરીશ એવું લાગશે જો તમે આમાંથી કંઈક શીખીને કરશો નહીં તો. So, as Dr. Chinmay sir had given a very fancy name, and the name fact, fiction, fantasy of the food for the India. Now, in our routine practice, we know so many facts and so many frictions are there with our society. So this is a very old friction or fact that you need to decide. Have you heard this?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So very old and a very famous quote is that. Can anybody tell me, is it a fact or friction? Please remain open for the discussion. I will like if you interact much and if you give your answers. What do you think? Is it a fact or friction?
This is a fact.
Fact. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, fact. So just to think, this quote might be came from our English people. And I think that if you take the heavy breakfast like a king and dinner like a prince, then just to think that, are you taking the lunch like this, okay? Or it is also like a king? So very rarely we following this. Another thing is that if you want to take the breakfast like a king, you have to think that, are you going to take another meal after that or after how many hours? Just tell me. If you're for the office or for the hospital, if you are leaving your home at 8 a.m. and taking the breakfast like a king, and at what time are you taking dinner then, averagely?
ડિનર તો 12 કલાક થઈ જાય સાહેબ. 7-8 વાગે જમીએ પાછા.
Sorry. So if you take the lunch then?
તો લંચ ના 6 કલાક થાય બીજા.
6 કલાક થાય. So just think that if you take the breakfast like a king, the whatever food you have taken, it give the calorie minimum up to the 4 to 5 hours. Okay. Until if you are not taking anything in between the breakfast to the lunch. So Now depends what do you want to do and how is your lifestyle according to the breakfast size or its quantity or quality, everything might get changed. Okay. If you take the heavy breakfast, if you take the heavy lunch, and if you are taking the dinner also the dinner is all like a prince, then everything might get accumulate the calorie, and that made us the obesity. So that may be one of the reason for the obesity that keep in your mind. So you need to think about that do you need heavy breakfast or not? Are you going home for taking lunch or not? Are you taking dinner heavily? Then do you need to take breakfast again like a king? So it is very personal perspective. We cannot think commonly that everybody has to take the heavy breakfast. So when we go for any food plan, I always say there is no common recipe plan for all. Now, just to think commonly, you might be knowing that your calorie need depends on what? Can everybody say me?
Depends on the expenditure.
Yes,
Need.
depends on expenditure.
Like
Yes, and expenditure is depends on
lifestyle,
lifestyle.
work
Yes, yes. So,
and
what type of
occupation.
lifestyle do you know? So, in which category
Like
are you coming? If you are in office work or the hospital work, then
moderate.
moderate. So, our calorie requirement may be lesser than the people who are going out and doing the field work. Okay. So that is depends that how much requirement is there. Same thing, we are going to office, but in the evening, so many of us might be going in a gym, and somebody will going in a gym, and somebody will going in some different activity. So just tell me, what are the different activity are you doing? So somebody going for a walk, somebody going for running, somebody might be just going for a laser walk. Okay, so everybody, it's not going for any physical activity. So the calorie requirement will be remain different for the different person. Okay, and another thing that about the metabolism. Now you might have seen so many people in your society that somebody is taking the less food, still they are obese. And somebody is taking too much food, still they are thin. Why?
Metabolism.
Yes, there is a difference in metabolism is there. Okay. So it's not only about the metabolism, but just to think that what could be a reason for this different metabolism? Everybody having the different need according to the metabolism. Why it is get different? Do you think that your body structure, according to your body structure, the requirement get differ? So everybody knowing that body structure, that some body part having the fat, some body part of having the bone, and some body part having the muscle also. This all the composition also making difference in requirement of the calorie, as there is a difference in metabolism. Okay, just to think that if you are literally obese, if in a category of obese, your calorie requirement will be high or low compared to the other people?
Low.
Low. And if you have the muscular, if you have the good muscle mass compared to the other normal human being, or you make an average human being, then your calorie requirement be little bit higher. So many things are there which is making difference in the requirement of calorie. Same way, when we come to the age, so many I have think that when we younger age group at 18 to 28 years of age, our metabolic rate is very high. If metabolic rate is high, then what does it mean?
calorie need is high.
Yes, calorie need is high. Even you take the more food, then it get easily get utilized by the body. Okay, but after the 26 years of age, are we decreasing our diet intake or is it remain same?
Same.
Yes. So even though when we cross the 26 or 28 years of age, our food intake is same, but metabolic rate might have started going down. So your calorie intake is continually same, even may get increase also, and your metabolic rate is low. Ultimately, whatever the extra calorie you are taking, it deposited as a fat, and that we, as it is female or male, according to that proportion of fat be deposited into a different part of the body. Same way, when we think about the nutrition does not remain same for the every disease. Okay, so according to disease also, calorie requirement is different. Now we come to some other point. So many people might be want to know about this thing. Have you heard about this? So how many of you are doing walking regularly? So just you think that generally people do walking for how many minutes? In general, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half hour or hour?
Half hour maybe.
Maybe everybody is doing maximum of up to the 30 minutes or 40 minutes. And if you spend 30 to 40 minutes, then how much calorie get burned according to this slide? So we can say that by walking,
300.
yes, approximately 10 to 11 kilocalorie per minute get burned. So if you walk for the 30 minutes, then 300 kilocalorie get burned. Okay. Now you to think that after walking and using the 300 kilocalorie, you need to think that how much do you eat after activity and what do you eat after the activity? Because in general, our total calorie required is 2000 to 2500 is there. Almost we are taking the little bit higher in our average food intake. Then if you, after walking, just expenditure of the 300 kilocalorie, if you are taking the some food which having the higher calorie or having the higher quantity, then there is no use of exercise to keep your body fit or keep your fat level low. So always we have to think about that how much we have to eat and what you are going to eat. That is the another question, that what do you have to eat after the activity, and that depends on which activity you did it. If you did the walking, then you need to restrict the carbohydrate diet. But if you have done any activity in which your muscle got broken down, you have done a heavy exercise, then in your food, some high amount of the protein might require for healing of the proteins. So for that purpose, we're just taking just sensitization about the nutrition, that this is our calorie requirement. And if you eat the 1 gram of carbohydrate, it gives a 4 kilocalorie. If you give 1 gram of protein, it also gives the 4 kilocalorie. And if you eat the fat, 1 gram, it gives the 9 kilocalorie. Now, one of my friends told me one time that alcohol doesn't have any calorie because it is like water. What do you think? Anybody have any idea about the alcohol? That
It's a free energy.
Yes,
It's a free energy.
it's a free energy, but is it give calorie when anybody drink 1 ml or 100 ml?
High amount of calories.
Yes, you can say it is equal to the fat. It having the high amount of the calories there, and it is almost 7 kilocalorie per ml. Okay.
Yes.
And for fat, for protein, and for carbohydrate, our body has to make the digestive mechanism. For alcohol, the body doesn't have to make any digestive mechanism. It directly get absorbed, goes in the metabolism, and immediately ATP gets generated. So it giving the very fast calorie. It is a 7 kilocalorie per ml. So everybody, so many people might be knowing that carbohydrate having the 4, protein having the 4, and fat having the 9. Now my question is that after the exercise, now you have to think about that how much calorie you need to take it. And for that purpose, you should be efficient to measure the calorie of the food which you are taking. So what generally we take after any exercise, what type of food we generally prefer? You can tell your choice of food also, that what type of, if you do for walking, then what food we are taking. See, most of the time, whatever food we take, these are all our complex food. Suppose if I ask you a roti, or somebody will take the, okay, I will in a breakfast, I will take a bread butter. Okay. So what is the composition of that food? How much amount of carbohydrate and protein and fat is there? If I ask you a roti, then what ingredient is there in a roti?
Complex carbohydrates, starch.
Yes, there is a complex carbohydrate is there. So we can say, if you eat a roti also, then you can see there is in a roti, if it is made of wheat or whatever you say, 85 to 90% is carbohydrate. Only 10 to 15% is protein and 5 to 10% is fat. So most of the time, if you take the any biscuit or anything, any damn food you take you, the composition is more or less remains nearer to this, unless you choose paneer or unless you choose the peanuts, then the composition is little bit different is there. Now just to think, if composition is this type, then how much calorie will be there in a 1 gram of the complex food averagely? See, in a food, everything is there. Carbohydrate is also there, protein is also there, and fat is also there. But fat percent is little bit less. So even though if carbohydrate and protein almost they are giving the 4 kilocalorie and fat is given the 9 kilocalorie. So when you take the any complex food, averagely per gram, the food will give the 5 kilocalorie. So if you eat one bread, then you need to calculate the how much calorie is there in a one slide of the bread. First of all, you need to know what is the weight of the bread. Can you tell me what will be the approximate weight of the bread or roti? Every home having the different weight of the roti, but averagely the roti might be having the weight of 20 to 30 gram. Okay, if the 30 gram roti is there and per 1 gram, if it is giving the 5 kilocalorie, how much calorie is there in a one roti? If averagely complex food is giving the 5 kilocalorie and one roti is having the weight of 25 to 30 gram of weight is there, then almost 30 into 5, it is around 120 to 150 kilocalorie is there in a one roti. Now you can understand, if you walk for the 30 minutes, burn the 300 kilocalorie, and if you eat the 2 kilocalorie, that is make the neutralization. Okay, so when you choose the food, you need to get sensitized about this thing also, what is its weight and what is its composition. And according to the composition, that calorie may get little bit different. But every complex food having the almost averagely 5 kilocalorie per gram is there. And when you understand this, then always you can make the criticization on this slide. What What do you comment on this figure which is shown here? So one pizza is, another is a diet coke is there. Okay. So why the people is choosing the diet? Why people are not choosing the simple Pepsi or Thumbs Up or the traditional Coke? So with that, people will believe that there is a less calories than this diet Coke, and that is why they prefer it. But with what? With pizza. Okay. And if you think about that, the pizza are very thick, and the weight of the pizza, just to think how many roti will you compensate for this pizza? Okay, so what I think that if you take the 3 or 4 roti, it may be more than that. The weight of 3 or 4 roti might be balanced with this pizza. So if you eat the one pizza, then how much calorie they were giving, and you are just trying to saving that calorie from the diet coke. So it is a combination in which in a one food you are taking a very heavy calorie and another food which having a no calorie. So it doesn't make any sense. Only thing is good about a diet coke is that it having lots of water is there. Your stomach may get full, and then after you might get avoid to decrease the more pieces of the pizza. Same way, I have seen the so many people which prefer roti without oil or butter. Now you just think that the weight of the roti is almost 30 gram is there. You always get a 120 to 150 kilocalories already are taking. How much butter you are putting on it? If you take the butter roti. I don't think it is a more than 1 spoon. If 1 spoon is there, it might not be a more than 5 ml or 10 ml. So that 5 or 10 ml will obviously it give the another 30 or 40 kilocalorie might be giving, but it doesn't make much difference if you putting that much oil, because we are not taking that much oily or that much buttery roti. Have anybody seen this advertised on a TV? So here the celebrity it's telling that eat lot and fickle not. It was very famous thing is there, and after this advertise, so many people have starting to eating this type of the wafers. And if you see the nutrition content of the all these thing, you come to know that from the advertise they think the high amount of protein. But if you see that this two wafers having the protein content of 8.7 gram per 100 gram. Now, if you compare with our traditional wafers, the chips which is available, do you think there is a major difference in between? So if you say that here in advertise what the Tum is making it advertising that the protein is 8.7 gram, while in Balaji there is a 7.5 grams are there. So it's not like that it's having the very heavy amount of protein is there. It is just this is the one type of advertise in which they are publishing that is having the high amount of protein, but they're publicizing the what in the way here 8.7 is there, here 7.5 is there. So here in a Tum there is a 1.2 gram of the protein is high. It means almost 20% protein is high. In that way, they do the advertise. But it doesn't mean that these chips are having the high amount of protein. They are just making advertise. So this is like you may say the celebrity is making the fantasy. It is not fact. It's not a fiction. The celebrity make the fantasy and people start eating this. And people think that after eating that, I will get the lots of amount of protein. Same way, in our Gujarati. This is a common fact of friction is there about this food. If I ask you, out of these three, which one is more lighter food? Because we believe that mamra, khichdi, and khakra, these are the lightest food of the world, and they we can eat any amount. What do you think? Which one is lighter? Very good. So somebody said that khichdi is more lighter. Very good. Anything else? So many people are, they maybe feel that khakra is more lighter or mamra is more lighter. Okay. If I ask you that how much amount of how the mamra get prepared? It is from rice. Okay. And if I ask you, if you eat 100 gram of rice and 100 gram of mamra, will it give the same calorie or different calorie? How? Can anybody say me how? What is the difference between the rice and mamra? હા શું વધી જાય બરાબર છે હા સિમ્પલ વિચારો કે મમરા ડ્રાય છે અને રાઈસમાં વોટર છે તો if having the water it means there is a less calories there. Okay, so if you take the mamra, then mamra is totally dry, then it may be having the relatively higher calorie than the rice, because rice having the little bit water is also there, not little bit but too much water is there. So the food we are telling the mamra, it's almost containing the same calorie like other food. Now why we are calling the lighter food, that I don't never understand. Same way we think the khakra. Okay, how does khakra is get made? So khakra is made from the roti, but these are the dry form, and when you take the dry form, there is a high concentrated calories are there. So you cannot judge that which one is a more lighter from this food. And the khichdi, when we say khichdi is also made up of the almost 80% is rice is there, in 20% we adding the some pulses, so they having also in the very high amount of carbohydrates there. But little bit we can say that in compared to the mamra and khakra, khichdi is little bit lighter because they having the water in it. So just tell me, out of this, which one you consider as the best breakfast? Bhakri? Okay. Why you think that bhakri is better? બરાબર છે, વેરી ગુડ. ટેસ્ટી હોય એટલે બરાબર છે. તો હવે આપણે ફિટ ઇન્ડિયા માટે ટેસ્ટને બદલે ધારો કે કેલરીને મહત્વ આપીએ અથવા એના ન્યુટ્રિશનને મહત્વ આપીએ તો શેને આપશો તમે?
એગ.
હે?
એગ, કારણ કે ગવર્મેન્ટ પણ એડવર્ટાઇઝ કરે છે કે રોજ ખાય અંડા.
યસ, સન્ડે હોય મંડે, હરોજ ખાઓ અંડે. યસ, obviously. So Dr. Sunil answer is perfect that if I am choosing the breakfast, then I definitely choose the eggs. And in the eggs also, I try to prefer for the boiled egg. Okay, if you even in a eggs also in the so many choice are there and so many items were available. Okay, so if somebody think about the calorie, then somebody say, okay, out of this, if I doesn't take the breakfast and if I just take the 1 glass of tea, that will be best one to control my weight. And then with that, I need to add the one boiled egg. That is the best one, best breakfast for everyone. But always there is a debate is there. Should we have to add sugar in tea or not? So આપણે ચાની અંદર ખાંડ નાખવી જોઈએ કે ના નાખવી જોઈએ? Yes, नहीं करो जे. So just to think that, yeah, if you how much amount of sugar you might be adding in your tea? Hardly 1 spoon or more than that. I don't think so. People are adding the modern big bigger spoon, one bigger spoon into the one tea. So 1 spoon of the tea, 1 spoon of the sugar is just around 10 gram. And the 10 gram, if you multiply by the 4, then it is just 40 kilocalorie. Okay. So just saving the 40 calorie, and we are expecting that after just restricting the 40 kilocalorie, we were getting the very fast response in my body. It is a foolish thing. Rather than we have to think about the all the food, because somebody might be taking one glass of tea without sugar, and after that they're eating the 1 or 2 bhakri also, which is almost equivalent to 300 to 400 kilocalorie. So in a one side we are trying to saving the 30 calorie by restricting the sugar, and in against that we are eating the 1 or 2 bhakri and getting the 200 or 250 kilocalorie very easily. So many things nowadays. As we go for the breakfast and tea, you will find this another fantasy in your city. So can we tell me, is there any advantage of taking the tea, a jaggery tea? હા, ટ્રાય તો નથી કરી, પણ અત્યારે આ ફેન્ટસી જેવું ચાલે છે કે that so many people in society, you will found that they will say, okay, અમે તો ખાંડ નથી યુઝ કરતા, હવે તો અમે ગોળની જ ચા બનાવીએ છીએ. તો એક ટ્રેન્ડ થઈ ગઈ છે અથવા ફેન્ટસી થઈ ગઈ છે. તો જાણવું એ પડે કે એના કોઈ ફાયદા છે. So is it jaggery or is it simple our sugar, both having the same sugar content? There is no difference between the sugar content. Even I have seen that there is no taste differences also there. Either somebody will predict there is a taste difference, but when you think about the calorie, then there is no difference in jaggery as well as our cane sugar. Only thing is that the jaggery having the so many impurities also there. The impurity are nothing but they are some minerals. So until the minerals which is required for our body, it is coming from the jaggery, that up to that it is fine. But keep in mind that we don't know this unrefined sugar is there. So many other elements also there, which is also inserted in our body if we are not eating the good quality of jaggery. So always be careful. I'm not debating that which one is good or which one is worst. I don't know. But you need to understand that jaggery having some other minerals and other impurities also there. And then some of the minerals are required for us also, like that some amount of the iron is also there in a jaggery. So should we have to take additional protein powder in daily diet? Because I have seen in so many family, they have get very much charged by taking the extra protein diet, because so many advertise and so many gym people are advertising that everybody has to take the protein. So many people are taking a protein powder at home also, even they are not doing any much physical activity. What do you think about that? If you are not going in a gym, do we have to take the extra protein? See, our normal human need is a 0.8 gram per kg per weight is there. So if it is your average weight is 70 kg, then you require only 60 gram of the protein in a day. And when you're taking the normal diet, we can achieve easily 45 gram of protein per day. But if you are taking a 40 gram of 45 gram of 45 to 50 gram of protein in a day also, then your body doesn't need the extra protein until you are having following any physical activity, even if you are doing the exercise. Okay. So point is that if you are taking any extra protein or extra protein powder in a food, and if it doesn't require it, then that also having the complexity in our body metabolism. That's protein, extra protein will goes in a degradation. It produces some waste like ammonia and urea. And for that excretion, the liver and kidney both have to work hard. Okay. So until your physical needs are there, if you have that type of physical activity is there, until that you doesn't have to take any additional protein in a diet. And then after when you start the physical activity, according to that you need to increase the protein amount. So this is also one fantasy which is going in our society right now, which is not a fact. So this is our traditional food. We take the roti, sabji, dal, salad, and chas. If I ask you, in all this combination, what type of the nutrition will be very high, and which type of the food you will prefer out of that? So another friction is there in our society. Then instead of wheat roti, somebody said, okay, juwar is good. Somebody goes, ragi is good. Okay. Anybody know why ragi is good? Yes. So everybody believes that the protein is more, or somebody believes that ragi is a fiber is more. Okay. Now it's like a Yo-Yo Momo chips and Balaji chips that somewhere in a wheat there is a fiber, it might be a 2%, in ragi it may be a 3%, and for that 3% increase in a 1% we might be taking a ragi. But protein content, carbohydrate content, and fat content, almost everything is same in wheat, jowar, and ragi. There is no any major difference. Only thing is that some of the little bit fiber is more in jowar and little bit fiber is more in a ragi. But I am saying this, that's why I am telling you little bit. I am not saying the huge difference is there. There is no huge difference. Nutritionally, there is no huge difference between these three cereals. So, same way, somebody when we debate about the protein intake, we always our society people always debate that we are taking the dal daily. We are taking the dal. Now the dals were made up of two-way dal, and according to this, you think about that. If you eating the dal, how much dal we are eating daily? 1 varki or 2 varki? Okay, so 1 or 2 katori is there. And after these 2 katori, how much protein we will get in? તો સિમ્પલ પૂછું છું તો કે આપણી સોસાયટીમાં આપણા ઘરે દાળ બને તો દાળમાં તુવેરની દાળ કેટલી નાખેલી હોય? યસ, 1 કે 2 બાઉલ એટલે હાર્ડલી કદાચ એ 100 ગ્રામ થાય, કદાચ 100 ગ્રામ થાય. ઓકે, તો 100 ગ્રામ દાળની અંદર ટોટલ 16 ગ્રામ પ્રોટીન હોય. હવે જે આ આખા ઘર માટે જે દાળ બની, બરાબર, એમાંથી કેટલા જણા 4 થી 5 4 જણા તો દાળ પીતા હશે. તો તમે 4 વાડકી દાળ પીવું છો, એમાંથી પ્રોટીન કેટલું મળશે? તો હાર્ડલી 4 to 5 ગ્રામ, because there is a lots of amount of protein is there and it is divided. So for taking the protein in food, you have to make some changes in it, because when you debate this dal is going to give you a protein, then it's a false belief. Dal doesn't give that much protein when you are taking in a ritually 1 varki or 2 varki, unless your dal is very thick and you are taking the lots of amount of dal, then will be a different scenario. Same way, in our food, the fiber is also making the so many sense. એટલે આપણે ફાઈબર પણ ઘણા બધા પ્રમાણમાં લેવા પડે. તો જસ્ટ વિચારો કે આપણે સલાડ દરરોજ ખાતા હોઈએ તો એ સલાડમાં આ તો કુકમ્બર હોય કે ઓનિયન હોય કે ટોમેટો હોય, તો કેટલું લઈએ કુકમ્બર આપણે? તમે આખું એક કુકુંબર અથવા 2 કુકુંબર ખાઓ ત્યારે તમારી ટોટલ ફાઈબરની નીડ સફિશિયન્ટ થાય છે. અને એની કમ્પેરમાં આપણે જે કુકુંબર ખાતા હોઈએ તો કદાચ 1 ટુકડો કે 2 ટુકડો કે જે ચિપ્સ પાડી હોય એટલું લેતા હોય. સો from that quantity our fiber content never gets suffice. This here you can see the difference with the different two atta, wheat and ragi. You can see the 100 gram of wheat and 100 gram of ragi, both having the almost same calorie, 378, 382. If you see the protein, it is 12, it is 11. If you see the carbohydrate, 71, 72. Sugar, it's a total sugar. Never think that it is a sugar, but it is a total sugar. So if you see the carbohydrate 70, 72, that is almost same. So never say, okay, this is 4 gram and 0.6 grams. It doesn't make any difference in it. Okay. Fat, 2 gram, 1.5 gram. So almost everything will be remain nutritionally same in both the nutrient. Okay. So it doesn't make any major difference with nutrition when we take the wheat or ragi atta. So here just I'm ending my session. Just I'm giving the core idea. I'm just trying to give you a sensitization. I cannot complete the topic in this one lecture. Nutrition is a very big topic, but I just emphasize few things. Do not entertain any advertisements, because advertisements are giving the wrong right to us towards the nutrition. Do not believe on a product labels, because their labels are just to highlight the product. It doesn't give the any scientific knowledge of a scientific background. No, any scientific background is there behind that labels. Do not believe on a words of the out of the syllabus celebrity, because celebrity doesn't having the any knowledge about the nutrition, and they are just for the money they are making the advertisement. So best thing is that you need to find the fact and science behind that all that advertisements. Find the fact of the all the common recipe trends. Somehow our common recipe and common trend having the so many good facts are also there. And for individually, you need to choose and compare the food with your sense and knowledge. So according to your lifestyle, according to your requirement, and according to your ritual, you need to choose the food. Thank you very much. If you have any
Thank you, Dr. Piyush Bhai. I would like to appreciate your efforts to give such type of lectures and give informations to all. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Sunil sir. Okay, so I'm ending the lecture. Stop. See you all. Bye.
Hello. Yeah, Piyush bhai.